Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our final segment of today's show. And what we want to continue to talk about for this last segment is the mentoring that you gentlemen intend to collaborate with the program. Do you want to tell us what you intend to do with the children? The mentoring?
Yeah, absolutely. I think mentoring is something that's very, very important. I think we have an advantage here in that our organization, we have professionals in just about every field you can imagine. So I think a lot of times kids don't get exposed to males, especially African American males, that may be doing things in the community, for example, lawyers or engineers or doctors, and they really don't have a chance to communicate with a person like that. So it gives us a great opportunity to be able to expose the children to various careers, maybe start telling them some things that they can do, even at an early age, to start preparing for that.
Yeah, and I would agree with him on that, and add to it that it also gives us an opportunity to make some of those bridges. There are intern programs that when kids come out of high school, that a lot of time our community is not engaged because we don't know. As well as college students, there are intern programs that take them into federal service that they can work over the summer. But a lot of times our kids aren't engaged into it because they don't know.
Right.
And even more so when you're looking at a disadvantaged population, they really don't know because the only thing they know is the bad. I mean, they're not given a guideline, a guide path of this is your guide path right here. This is what you need to stay on. And by the way, I'm going to be your wingman or your wing woman and kind of keep you there.
Sure.
Okay, and will your mentoring be primarily through guest speaking, or will it be through some other form of activities?
I think it'll be both. What we're hoping for is to be able to do some guest speaking, and especially if we get a child or children that are particularly interested in that particular segment or that particular career, then you know what, then we can start individually mentoring and talking to that child and form that relationship with them also.
Okay, will it be required that they join a program, sign up, or what would be the criteria for them to be mentored?
I think it's both. I mean, we do a little bit of formal and informal. We have some individuals that we've groomed to right now. One that I'll be contacting probably after we leave here to get him to help him fill out his FAFSA for enrolling in college. And I have a guide path that's already for him that's in a STEM program that I'm trying to get him into, but he needs to meet certain college criteria before he's eligible. So my job kind of starts with, hey, when I met him, seeing he has the aptitude for it, he just lacks a little bit of guidance and direction. So now I'll get him to fill out the FAFSA, get him over to the university, get him to start taking those priority classes that he needs to take. After that, hey, we're gonna practice a little bit of interviewing. I'm gonna let you meet some of the people that you need to meet to see if you're a good fit for them, if they're a good fit for you. And then at that point, if you decide you want to move on, I'm gonna take you to the next level. So that's an informal process, but at the same time, we do have programs within our organization where we actually have a name, we have a title, they have to join it, they have to show up. We let them run it like a mini organization. They get leadership positions that they run, and we just kind of sit there and mentor them and kind of walk them through the process.
Okay, and Cherie, how do you see Omega Phi Psi fitting into the program?
Yes, you know, we've been chatting about it as far as mentoring. See, they do a little bit different piece of what I'm going to be incorporating with Real Talk, and so which is great because they're already in the mentoring aspect of it. But my mentoring program for Real Talk will be specifically geared to career mentoring. And, you know, we already use somebody else as a mentoring, iron sharpens iron, that we refer kids to. But we also will be referring those kids as mentoring projects because my mentoring program for the career mentoring is going to start from the ages of 12 to 18.
I see.
So these kids will be able to, as far as the resource list, which will be put together from some of the fraternity gentlemen, whatever career fields they have, and just a plethora of all other agencies that actually we have collaborated with as far as their careers. So when a child says, you know, I want to be an astronaut or I want to be a biochemist, I can go down to my resource list. And they have to apply, you know, go through the whole formality. And we set them up from our resource list and say, okay, hey, you know what? Here's Mr. Johnson. He's a biochemist. Is this something that interests you? And then we connect the two. And then from there, they learn the ins and outs of how to become that biochemist. And if they don't like it, then you know what? They may say, hey, you know what? I didn't really like that. I want to get into this. So we go down our resource list again. Well, let's team you up with Mr. Johnson, who does this, this, and that, and the other. So we want to make sure that we put them in a setting where this is what you wanted.
Right.
And from that aspect, if it turns into another aspect of mentoring, be it if Mr. Leary, if a gentleman wants to come and say, I want to be a principal one day, we connect him with Mr. Leary. Mr. Leary takes him on and says, you know what? I want to do a little bit more with this child. I don't want to just career mentor. I want to show him how to become a man. I want to show him how to, be a gentleman. Anything that the male figures have to do that actually shows some responsibility, some respect level, and teaching these kids. So if it turns into, I want to take him to a baseball game now, that's fine. My main thing is getting the kids lined up with a career mentor. If it leads to something other than just career basis, that's great. That's even better. So we as Real Talk, we don't mentor the kids. We want to make sure we get people outside, like the fraternity, and bring them in and say, hey, you know what? We got a collaboration here we got 5 kids that want to do this, that, and the other. All I do is pull out my resource list. And then, and then the other part of mentoring is that, sometimes it's so invasive. Some mentoring projects, you have to see them 3-4 times a month. You have to see them, call them 2 times a week. I don't want it to be that involved. I do want some contact, but I don't want to create to where it's so invasive. Of course, there's going to be background checks and whatnot for that. But just an idea to give these kids just a little bit of taste of what they believe they want their career to be.
Right.
At the age of 12, that's the age where kids start kind of trying to figure out themselves. They've hit puberty. Now they think that they're grown and this is what I'm going to be one day, make $100,000 a year. But they don't know how to get there. This is where these gentlemen and other agencies that we're going to be using doing.
How has it been working out thus far with Iron Sharpens Iron?
It's going well. He gets a few kids a month. If sometimes maybe not once a month. There's times where he gets nothing, but he refers kids to us that he gets from the courts as well to come through the program. So that's how we collaborate even better. And we pay for the mentoring for kids to go through his program.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
So would it be paid for with Omega?
If there is a fee, then definitely we would actually
That's
pay.
fantastic.
We would actually pay for that because the Real Talk career mentoring program is only going to service ages 12 to 18. We have 11 and under that still need mentoring.
Right.
So we can send those kids over to Omega, and then from that point, if they continue to deal with them, then it could possibly turn into a career mentoring. Or they may bring them back over here and say, hey, you know what, you need to go down the resource list because I'm a principal. I don't know anything about being an engineer, but I can connect you with someone that can. So those are some of the things that we're going to be working on together as far as trying to make sure that we put together the kids with people that they need to be together because kids are in a box. They grow up in a box. The community, the box, whatever community they're in, it's a box.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids have never been taken outside of the box, and that's all they know.
Right.
So when they hear African American men come in and say they're attorneys and say they work for the federal government and say they're judges and principals, some kids have no idea that we even have those men that exist, and that's sad.
That is sad.
It's extremely sad. And so, I just keep it real because, listen, the population is African Americans and Hispanics are the highest amongst the incarceration rate. That's the facts.
Mm-hmm.
And what I try to present to the kids in the program, I mirror what I serve. So I don't want to continue just to allow the kids to see somebody of a different color and never see somebody of their color.
Right.
That
That's
has
very important.
actually succeeded and never been to prison, making $100,000 a year, and doing well. And it's not about money, of course.
And is that your goal?
Yeah, the way the population growth is going right now, it's going to be those children of color, those African American children and those Hispanic children, that's going to be running our country. They're going to be your policemen and your lawyers and your doctors. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we address those kids, address their needs, and to make sure that they are aware of some of those things that they're going to have to be doing to keep this country moving. It's that important.
Yeah. And I would agree, and more so, I'm training my replacement.
That's great. That's a great analogy.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. I'm a military service member, work for the federal government as an investigator. I do not plan on doing this until I'm 70, 80 years old. So I'm training my replacement. So I can't complain about my replacement if I never invest to train my replacement.
Well
That's
said.
right. That's another. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I definitely want to make sure that people understand it, and the public understands it. Listen, Real Talk is not just about blacks and Hispanics. We are about kids on a whole. The fact of the matter is, we have more blacks and Hispanics in our institution, and that's the heart of the issue right now that we're addressing. But we welcome every shade that is out there, any kids that are in need, to join our program and get the benefits. Get whatever we can offer you. Everything is free. So keep in mind that we are not just all pro-black and all pro-Hispanic. I want everybody to understand that. We want every child to come through our program that is in need of services.
Well, thanks to all of you for joining us for the final segment of the show today. Hope to have you back soon.
Definitely.
Thank
you.
you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys.
You're welcome.